Good afternoon. Today is March 12, 2014, and this is the house of Arthur Denchfield in Miami. And in front of us we have a statue of Our Lady Fatima, and behind her is the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and some fresh flowers, yellow and white, colors of the Vatican next to Our Lady. And way over to the right, at the moment of his holy resurrection, the holy face of Jesus from the Holy Shroud of Turin, and underneath a picture of the International Pilgrim Virgin statue of Our Lady Fatima that wept in New Orleans in 1972. That photo was taken in 1973 at the national headquarters of the Brazilian Society for the Defense of Tradition, Family, and Property. And the symbol of all the TFPs in the world, Tradition, Family, Property, is the golden lion rampant, which is a symbol of Christ the King, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And behind the picture of behind the symbol of the golden lion rampant is Plinio Cordelia Veda, who inspired all the societies for the defense of tradition, family, and property, as well as traditioninaction.org, as well as Heralds of the Gospel, as well as America Needs Fatima, and a number of other societies, Marian organizations, Catholic inspiration. Anyway, here's the globe that we've talked about underneath the feet of Our Lady, and of course, we've shown you the books, and here's the map that my father had made in Brazil before he got married, the Mercator map of the whole world, and we vacuum clean that every once in a while. But because we don't have time to do that today, we're not going to do it now. But we talked about a couple of things last time, and I just wanted to show, because it's good to ask for evidence. You know, show me, especially those people who talk about global warming and talk about evolution. You have to say, well, show me. I want proof. I mean, why should I make an act of faith to accept your theory about 5 billion years of this or 2 million of that? I mean, why should I believe that more than I believe what has been passed on to me through my ancestors, and so on and so forth? Below you see a picture. You see the book there, Padre Pio and the Americans. It's next to it's next to Michelle Malcolm's book, Culture of Corruption, below there. I want to show you something. Here's a letter I got from Italy, and this came to me when I lived in Fort Lauderdale. I had already left the seminary, and Padre Pio, I asked for his blessing. And this is the other letter. The other sheet was a thank you note. And then this is Padre Pio sends you his blessing and will pray for your intentions. He urges you to have complete trust in the goodness of God and to pray always according to his pray always according to his divine will, Father Superior. And that was from 1967. This is my honorable discharge from the United States Marine Corps. Let's see, honorable discharge, U.S. Marine Corps, and that's my name right there. Let's see if I can get it. I had the same rank as Adolf Hitler. I left as a corporal. I got too religious in the end, and that didn't sit too well with some superiors. And here's my graduation picture from Paris Island. As you can see, that's platoon 3006. And remember what I said to you about my number being 36? Now, how is it that in the U.S. Marine Corps, of just many, many, many men, were all of a sudden chosen to join this platoon, platoon 3006, in December of 1965. I mean, that's the graduation picture is right there. Graduated 22nd December 1965, and Sergeant Spencer, Sergeant Cottrell, and Sergeant Shivers were the drill instructors, and this is platoon 3006. Now, how's that possible? I mean, I see the hand of God in this. Took me a number of years to make the connection. But anyway, let's go back to the other side. We can't stay long this time. The music, of course, is the music from the Assumption of Blessed Virgin Mary Ukrainian Catholic Church. See if I can get it going. Well, there's a button I have to press, but I'm not going to spend time trying to find out which one it is. So I'll just go on. First of all, the article in yesterday's Miami Herald was Year of Change. It's a story about Francis, Pope Francis, and the hope that many have that he's going to change the Catholic Church and so on. And every time he makes a statement that the sodomites or the divorcees believe is in their favor, of course the press gives it a lot of accent. But what I ask you to do is, you get this newspaper here called Catholic Family News. And they do a wonderful analysis of the latest economic statement that Pope Francis came out with. And they analyze it in the light of Catholic doctrine. And I also want you to, I recommend this book. This is called Game Plan. Game Plan by Kevin D. Freeman. He was on the Christian Broadcast Network, CBN News. He was interviewed by Pat Robertson. And I went out and I bought this book yesterday, as soon as I saw the program. And I recommend that you get this book. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary how vulnerable the United States of America is to a cyber attack in our financial institutions. And the 2008 financial collapse, as it were, that happened in America was related to a cyber attack. There are all kinds of ways that this country can be brought down immediately. I mean, like within days, through computers. And this book here, Game Plan: How to Protect Yourself from the Coming Cyber Economic Attack, by Kevin D. Freeman. He also wrote that bestseller called Secret Weapons. He also shows the Chinese plan for the conquest of America. Osama bin Laden read that Chinese plan, because in the Chinese plan, written by high-ranking officers in the Liberation Army of China, let's see if I can find the, well, I'm not going to try and look for the title of the book, but the Chinese specifically targeted, in their book, they said, one of the ways to attack the capitalist system of the United States of America is to destroy the Twin Towers. And that's what Osama bin Laden did. And that lady, Daryl, there's a lady on MSNBC who did an economic analysis of the kind of warfare that is being waged against the United States. And it's extraordinary how it seems that it costs the United States government over $1 million to kill just one enemy combatant. And so the 9/11 has proven very profitable for the enemies of these United States. It has cost the U.S. billions and billions of dollars, perhaps up to $1 trillion. Again, we recommend this book called The Game Plan: How to Protect Yourself from the Coming Cyber Economic Attack, by Kevin D. Freeman. We're very concerned about what's happening in Ukraine, and we pray that God's will be done there. But we also believe that such states as Oklahoma, Texas, Virginia, South Carolina, the Dakotas, and a few other states are taking a close look at developments, because the Crimea is seceding. It's seceding from Ukraine. And many people are wondering, why bother be part of this so-called union that is being headed by a lawless person? And that's why there are many in Texas, there are many in Alaska, and many in other states that want to leave, want to secede for the United States of America. Because the United States of America, it doesn't pay to belong to the US of A anymore. It doesn't. when you draw a line and a balance sheet, and you put all the pluses on one side and all the negatives on the other side, the negatives, they outweigh the pluses. I'm talking to the people who are responsible, who want to run a business, who want to employ more people, who want to expand their business. The rules and regulations out of Washington are so onerous that I have appealed to President Vladimir Putin to save the U.S. coal jobs. Yes, come to the rescue of the American worker, Mr. Putin, and I ask the Chinese and the Japanese the same thing, because you are the banker of the United States of America. You can tell Barack Hussein Obama, you either shape up now or you ship out quick, because you owe us billions and hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're not going to take it anymore. And they shouldn't. And our debt is in the trillions, $17 trillion worth of debt. And it seems that those in power now, at least those in the White House and those in the U.S. Senate, they could care less how great the debt gets. They don't think about what's coming. And if you go to the warning of Our Lady of Akita, October 13, 1973, Google that. Akita warning, October 13, 1973, and ponder the somber words that God is going to send fire from heaven, which will be worse than the flood. And the dead, the living they will envy the dead. And then a certain time will come when there will be no more forgiveness. And the only way that you can not have any more forgiveness by the mercy of God is if you have a electronic magnetic impulse bomb, or the sun emits an electronic magnetic impulse and fries the earth. In other words, you don't have time to say, God, I love you. God, I'm sorry. You won't even have time to do that. And I think the latest sign to confirm the prophecy that was made at Akita on the warning on October 13, 1973, which you can check out on Google, is the Malaysian airline incident. That was a 777, and they didn't even have time to press down the button, the emergency button for the transponder or whatever. They didn't even have time to do that. Some dramatic thing happened, and I happen to think that it's perhaps UFO related, but we have to wait and see what is found. But UFOs are demons from hell, and they are out to deceive mankind, and they're very hostile. And when they're confronted, or if there are any believers that stand up to them, then they become even more aggressive. And I'm not saying that this is what happened, but that's a possibility. Another possibility is that one of the co-pilots let in a lady, like he did a couple of years ago in another airline, into the cockpit, and then there was some confusion there. Who knows? It's a mystery. But the fact that we so far don't know anything, it reminds me of the Akita warning. It's going to come from one moment to the next. And from one moment to the next, the Cumbre Vieja volcano may collapse into the Atlantic Ocean and generate a mega tsunami that will reach America in 8 hours, with 50-foot waves from Maine all the way to Florida. And Washington, D.C. would be underwater, as well as New York City, and all the cities on the eastern seaboard. And meanwhile, we have a leadership in Washington, D.C. that could care less, especially Senator Reid in the Senate. It's outrageous, the things that he's done and the things that he's prevented from being done by the U.S. government. And I say now, and I showed you the picture, I was in platoon 3006, and I told you about 36. I was born on March 6. Arcturus is 36 light years away from Earth, and if this is the sun, Arcturus is my size. And I've also talked to General James Amos, Commandant of the Marine Corps, and told him to look at the Bible. Go to Amos chapter 5, verse 8. Do a Reams version, and you'll see a reference made to Arcturus in the book of Amos. Now, is that a coincidence that I'm talking to General James Amos, who happens to be alive now, about something that happened thousands of years ago in the Bible, talking about a star called Arcturus? and then I was born on March 6th, and then I joined the Marines and ended up in platoon 3006 at Parris Island. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in coincidences. This all happened for a reason, and there are many, many other such coincidences, so to speak, that have happened in my life that lead me to believe that I have a destiny, that God wants me to do something important, and those of you who have eyes to see and ears to hear, you have an obligation before God and country to do something about it. Now I have to go because that's my alarm. I have to donate platelets and I have to leave now. I didn't put the asteroid there. Maybe one's not going to come after all. Who knows? Anyway, God bless you. God bless America.